Hello, everybody. It is 12:30 a.m. and I keep forgetting to record this commentary, so we're just gonna do it now. This is the commentary for Dunban versus Auron, and this is definitely something I want to make. I want to make these commentaries more frequent as we go forward. Actually, can't remember if I did. I don't think I did a Joker Jormo commentary. I want to do that with a couple people actually. So, the two editors mainly, Eve, who played Dunban in this episode, and Nerio, who I don't believe did anything for this episode. He's doing stuff for the next episode though. He was adamant about spoilers. By the way, spoilers for the next episode. He was very adamant about editing for Jaime's analysis, which I'm personally very excited about. But to talk a little bit about this matchup, so you guys know me. I'm a lifetime Kingdom Hearts fan, and I'm sure you're all anticipating with bated breath what the Kingdom Hearts matchup of this season is going to be, because it's going to happen. I'm not telling you which one though. And you know, I played KH2 when I was a kid, and the FF character that I think a lot of people, myself included, who weren't into Final Fantasy and just play Kingdom Hearts, they were really into Auron, because he just a stoic badass kind of character that took no shit and was his own. He had some of the most raw lines in that entire game, and a game filled with just raw ass lines. This is my story and you're not a part of it. Who the fuck says that? That's raw. And so I always had this character in the back of my head. I really like Auron. And I learning more about FF10 was one of the reasons I wanted to do this episode, because I like the game. I'm not a huge fan of turn-based RPGs. And part of that is just my ADHD. If a game has really clunky gameplay, but still has an interesting story, I've kind of figured out I just end up reading a wiki article about it. Which kind of sucks, but that's just how my brain works. It was the same thing that happened when I tried to play Jack 2 earlier last year. That game, I love the game's story, I love the game's characters, but my god, the mission structure sucked. Really did not like the gameplay in that game. And then, around, when it first came out, I played Definitive Edition, because I had played Xenoblade 2, in 2018, about a year after it came out, during Ultimate's heyday, which is crazy to me that I played an RPG for 50 hours before going back and forth between Ultimate, because I was not skipping out on playing Ultimate either. I definitely remember playing Ultimate more than I remember playing Xenoblade 2 for the first time. There is one thing I remember my first playthrough of Xenoblade 2, and I guess I'll tell the story now. It's nothing major. Just I got up to the first Malice fight at the end of Chapter 1 of Xenoblade 2. And the game did a tutorial, and I didn't read it, and I started the fight, and I didn't know what was happening, and then I died. And the tutorial didn't start up again when I died, so I was what do I do? And I couldn't figure it out, so I just restarted the entire game. So that was fun. But then, I played Definitive Edition in, June through July of 2020. And I think this is where I, really fell in love with Xenoblade, was Definitive Edition. Partially because of... I can talk about it a little bit, but... both of these guys are my favorite characters in their respective games. Which is, part of the reason why I wanted to do this matchup, too, is characters I really like. Just kind of pitted against each other, talk to each other a little bit. And I really wanted to be able to specifically write for Dunban in a versus sense, because I love his character and how he acts around others. He's kind of cocky, but he has enough ability to back it up. And just fucking, he's raw. He's raw as shit. Some raw lines. Fucking, excuse me, we ordered room service an hour ago? That shit's raw. I love this man. I didn't plan this, but right, oh my god, it's me. So this is something that's gonna stay for the rest of these episodes, for better or worse. I have not seen a single comment about them so far, So, like, if you're watching this commentary, let me know about how you feel about the live action segments. Because, like, I feel like this is something that is very easy to do in verses that just hasn't been done, which is just showing your actual face. And I don't have a problem with showing my face to my loyal followers. So I do it, and like yeah. But I'm curious to know, like, do you like these? I'm gonna keep doing them. I'm not gonna stop, but I do want to know what people think about them. That's my main concern is like nobody's talked about them. And also I use these to like make like I call it kind of like exposition, kind of like battle exposition, talking about abilities and stuff like that, which I think can be fun, but it gets kind of boring when all you're doing is like listing shit, and like people kind of need like another angle to make it a little bit more interesting. And I think having a camera on me and you being able to like see like hand gestures and expressions goes a long way. And like I needed people to know that what Blossom Dance was before it happened in the fight, because like it's a huge thing for Dunban as like a character to represent in verses. And fucking goddamn this episode's full of bits. I really didn't expect this to be as comedic as it turned out. I'm kind of always in a goofy mood when I write these scripts, because I want to keep people entertained, and part of that is like telling a story and stuff like that. And part of it is adding jokes here and there, like forgetting Ryan and Charlotte's name, but not Juju's. Shoutouts to Juju, my favorite Xenoblade character actually. Fuck Dunban. But I was kind of talking about earlier. Like, I think Xenoblade 1 might... I always forget about this bit, because it's also followed by a bit that I remember a lot, because that was like the first thing I worked on when I started editing Dunban's analysis. This right here, this fucking Maxor bit. I call it the Maxor bit, because that's like kind of... This is what I think of when I think of like... You call it like the fucking like Funny West bit, but like... When I think of like this style of video, I think of Maxor with the fucking Metal Gear Rising, and like, what's the other one he did? The Devil May Cry 5 one. Just kind of this memey impact text. That's Dunban over there. End it with a meme about Dunban, because you gotta bring up the memes a little bit. And I brought up that meme. I didn't bring up the room service meme. I do have a file on my computer that is an alternate take of the end clip of this analysis, where instead of the "Mumka, you went too far, you fool," it was the "Excuse me, we ordered room service an hour ago." And I think that would have been really funny, but I wanted to keep this serious. I wanted to end on a note of like importance for these characters, because you'll notice, like, I kind of, like, back-end a lot of the bits for Dunban's analysis, and I kind of front-end a lot of it for Auron's analysis. Mainly because there's not... I wanted the moments of gravitas to kind of really speak out to me, and the attack on Colony 9 is, like, super fucked up, and I really love that it's super fucked up. And the ending of the game is, like, really poignant for me, especially when you look at it from Dunban's perspective and how he views, like, having to take down his old friend. And I wanted that to be handled with a certain, like, weight. That, like, you could tell, like, I really want to take this seriously. And then end with, like, a non-sequitur joke about them killing God. Because JRPG. But, like, I'll be honest. Xenoblade 1 might be, like, the best version of the we have to kill God story in any JRPG ever. I love Xenoblade 1's story, dude. If I ever talk about Shulkin versus Universe, we'll definitely talk more about the story. But like, it's crazy how good everything is set up and how everything is paid off. It's just really a masterclass in storytelling. And like, I personally, I think it's only amplified with every sequel. Like, Xenoblade 1 and 2 are like pretty equal for me. I think I like 3 story-wise a little bit more than both of them. And like if I ever talk about a 3 character, actually I have no idea I would write a fight about a Xenoblade 3 character. I just because of the way that Ionios works, it would be really difficult to like get characters into and out of that world believably, because a thing I like to do is I like to try and make all my fights canon in some way, or at least canon enough to where you could believe they would happen if like the franchise, how do I word this? If like the franchise, no, let me phrase it like this. They can be viewed as canon if you look at the franchise through the winning character's perspective and their endings. So like Dunban's ending would be canon to Xenoblade, and Auron's ending would be canon to like Final Fantasy's end. Like it could be, it's canon compliant, is the technical word. And I try to write all my fights nowadays. I try to write all my fights kind of around that. Early on, I used to kind of just throw shit at the wall and like see what stuck. Kind of like Scar vs. Kurapika has like a very short build up, and a short build up isn't a bad thing. This episode actually has a pretty short build up, and like the fight's like 11 minutes long, which is short for my standards. The Hydrosity meme, this is good. I love this bit. Like I like how this paragraph kind of every joke segues into another joke until it kind of reaches its climax with the fucking like, are we sure this isn't Sonic bit? It just fucking, I think this was really well written. I really like how this turned out. And this is probably like, I hate to like say this because I really do think I could talk about Final Fantasy again on the show, but this is probably the most I would want to do a Final Fantasy character. Like Auron was top 1 of Final Fantasy characters I wanted to talk about, and really the only other one would be Cloud, and that would be for like a Cloud Sumire episode. So that's like that was like the second one down I would want to do, I think. I'm really not too keen on Final Fantasy. Like it's not like one of my favorite things in the world, but I can recognize like a good ass game, you know. These are good ass games. These are good games. They're just really not for me. And like unless they can really keep my attention, they don't. And part of it too is like I'm not a huge fan of this art style. And part of it is like I'm so used to like other Nomura stylings that are like more akin to like stuff I would like. Part of it is I grew up on Kingdom Hearts, so like I'm more used to that kind of style of Nomura. But like I just can't get behind a lot of the designs. Like I really have trouble identifying with like the Final Fantasy 15 people and like the 13 guys. And like Lulu's like the design I like the least in this game, I think, just because of her monstrous amount of belts. Titus, the only real problem is like I don't like that his jeans, I don't like that his shorts are like uneven. I don't like that one pant leg is longer than the other. I get the asymmetry in it, and I don't mind that one sleeve is longer than the other, but like one pant leg, that looks kind of weird. Auron is definitely my favorite design out of all the party members, for sure. I think Yuna's a close second. I really love Yuna's design. Just fucking crazy. I love the story this game has to tell. I think it's a really good story. And like when I was first like playing it, I could immediately see the fucking parallels to fucking Xenoblade. Because they're both stories about kind of overcoming false beliefs and like dethroning a god to create a new civilization. But they tackle it in extremely different ways, because like FF10 handles it with like a more religious approach and breaking down what religion means and why religion exists in the world. Whereas like Xenoblade just takes kind of like a scientific approach to it. Like it's extremely dogmatic and just realistic. realistic, quote unquote, handled with realism. That's my friend Scissor's favorite bit in the episode, by the way. The alcoholic bit. So shoutouts to Scissor for that one. Fuck. This is my poster wall, by the way. If you can't tell, I have a Samus poster in back there. I have a Smash Ultimate you can see, and I got that Smash Ultimate actually from like a tournament I went to. I might have talked about this last time, but I got that Smash Ultimate poster from a tournament I went to in high school that was at my high school, and like they got like some GameStop employees to like hook it up a little bit and sponsor it a little bit, I guess. And so they gave out free posters for the Smash Ultimate Final Destination. And so I had that, and I was like, I want to get this framed, but I don't want to just buy one frame. So I bought that Persona 5 poster that's behind me, featuring all the Phantom Thieves, including Sumire and Akechi, and got frames for those and hung them both up. And then you see the Mob Saga 100 poster. And actually to the right of it is a Zelda Breath of the Wild poster that I absolutely adore. It's a shame that it's probably never going to be in a video, because I really love how it looks. But it's fucking rad. And then actually now, to the left of the Persona 5 poster, I have a little Dunban print now that I got off Etsy. The Waka Glare. This man's racist. Racist! It is amazing. It's just like, they put a whole ass racist in your party and they expect you to sympathize with them. It also helps with... I really think that, like... There's a lot of, like, parallels between FF10 characters and Xenoblade characters. I think nowadays... Like, I used to be, like, Waka Ryan was, like, the peak Waka matchup, but, like... Waka Lands might have overtaken it now, because that would actually be really cool. And that's thematic as fuck, too. I think that would be really cool to see. Waka versus Lands, get to it, fuckers. And I know some people are like opposed to Ouroboros being like by themselves in versus matchups. I'm not that opposed to it. Yeah, just talking about the fucking lore, and like this is one of the craziest things ever in a video game. It is like, oh yeah, your mentor, the main party member that you've probably been using to like do heavy hits and stuff like that, he's fucking dead. He's been there the whole fucking time. He's a fucking ghost. Fucking boo. It's just fucking... I love that, because he... Just stuff you don't notice. He's just like, why the fuck is he doing that? And then when you replay the game, it's like, oh, he's toasting to his old friend. Of course, that's why he's doing it. Just fucking... I love this fucking story so much. This is like if Naruto was good. Oh my god. I don't mean to spoil the season for anybody, but I have to say it's spoiler alert. There's no Naruto matchup this season, and honestly, thank God. Not because I don't like Naruto. I like Naruto. It's probably my second favorite of the big three. It's the one I know the most about. So, I like Naruto, but ain't no Naruto this season. And that's also because if you've ever tried to get Naruto footage off YouTube, it is nigh impossible. Because all of it is either watermarked or fucking is it interloped? Made into 60 FPS and it looks like shit. So like it's barely usable. And like it was terrible. I had to pawn off editing Obito's analysis because I knew from experience that shit would have been awful. So thank you for that. I've come clean about that to her, so like she knows. I think I tell it to her like immediately after. Oh, so the Kingdom Hearts, because I have to. I had to get the reference in. Are you kidding me? It's in my contract. And not ending with a joke for this. We had a joke of that little ending paragraph. I love this little, I guess you call it a monologue. I love that speech. It's so raw. And then we get into the fight, which, couple of things about this fight. If you follow me on Twitter, you will know the pain and suffering you caused the Emperor and Fiora. No, you will know like the tumultuous history this fight has had. Because to put it into perspective, this episode went into production like a little bit of like a month before Tenacious D versus NSP dropped. I wrote the fight script, and then I sent it out to the voice actors, and then I got to work on the analysis scripts, which is how I normally do this. Like right now, I'm working on the Ben Jaime fight script, and then I'm gonna send that to the voice actors, and then I'm going to write the analyses kind of around the fight, so that way I make sure like everything I talk about in the fight is explained before the fight, so nobody's lost. Which I think is a nice way to do things. But like fucking, the first thing I got was the Nebraska lines, which was in September, and then I got the Dunban and choke lines around the same time in December, I believe. And then like, I love rock so much. This is probably the most tumultuous our history has ever been, because it took so long, the Auron lines, and I'm not blaming him, partially because like by the time I was kind of cracking down on him to get them into me, what was happening was his laptop he used to record was broken and getting repaired, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's why it's taking so long. So like I'm not like anti-sympathetic. I waited, and he was keeping me updated too. So like we just had to wait until then, and like I kind of kept on having to pressure him, which I don't like to do that when people are working for free. But if I want to get a show out, like I have to pressure a little bit. So like. Literally the day before this episode went up, what I did was I got the lines from everybody, put them into Vegas, edited the fight, put it all together because all the analyses were already edited, edited the outro, exported it, rendered it, and then rendering got stuck, I remember, at like a weird point in Auron's analysis. And this rendering was taking forever. It was like an hour and 30 minutes into the rendering. It was 15 minutes into the video. And I was so pissed. Because it was like 11:30 at night. And I was having to like stay up because I was so fucking tired. I had to stay up for like the whole fucking night. Just trying to get this render out. And like I figured out the problem. I figured out the solution. And by like 11:30, I was finally allowed to sleep. Because I figured out how to render it. But in the morning, perfect. I had it perfect. And that's also why there were no like analysis previews for this episode, because I wanted to get it out as soon as possible. And to do that, you had to forego the normal process. Because my goal was to get this out in December, and then we hit the snag with Auron's VA, and I was like, it's understandable, but it's not like a circumstance I want to, like, I don't even know how to say this. It's not like something I want. It's best if we avoid it. And like, no shade of the Rocks at all. I love them. I just wanted to tell the story of like why this kind of took so long. Because, like, also, I remember I took like 2 days at Auron's analysis. I took like 3 days at edit Dunban's. Like, if you don't really know how, like, video editing usually, like, flows and stuff like that, I, for one, this is also, like, the first time I tried using, nested timelines, which I probably won't do, because what I normally do is, and this is going to break any video editor that is listening to this, it's going to break their heart. What I do is I fully render out the analyses, separately, and then I bring them in to the, like, main project, where I edit the intro and the outro in the main project. Everything else I do in its own, like, separate Vegas file. So, like, the analyses and the fight are all, like, separate files on my computer. And I render all three of those out, and I put them in the main timeline, and I edit the intro and the outro probably usually last, and then I smush them all together. Then I add the trailer for the next time, and the episode's done. It says it on screen right now when I talk about this. This art was part of the silliest trade I've ever been a part of. So this is a story I'm going to tell. This is my friend Jem did this art, and the way it worked was, we were doing a Let's Play of Kingdom Hearts. It's kind of on hold right now because of an editing snafu. But we were doing it, and we had an agreement. If I played through Atlantica in the Kingdom Hearts 1 playthrough, she would draw one thing of my choice. And I used that to make her draw Versus Universe art. So shoutouts to Carnage Jem, who did that art, because it's bussin'. I love that art so much. And that's exactly what I pictured when I first, like, wrote the fight. Like, exactly, like, the way the far plane looks, the way, like, the tornado kind of transitions into the blossoms, the cherry blossoms, as he starts doing a blossom dance. And, like, shout out to Sunmellows, too, for the delivery of the blossom dance line, or lines. I love how this fight escalates. Just like from very beginning, it's like they're very talkative, and then they get kind of quiet, and then they start talking again, and then, like, Auron's like, fuck this, and then he starts going all out, and then that prompts Dunban to go all out, and then, like Auron's like, oh, I see, you're good at this. Want to, like, just, like, fucking go all out, just, like, mano a mano, and Dunban's like, yeah, sure. And then, like, this ending, this had nano gaming, everybody, nano gaming. This had nano gaming. Nano gaming is Shulk. And it was good. Yeah, I liked it. I wanted to have one British person play a British person. So, shoutouts to Versus Universe's own Adam Howden. As in my version of Adam Howden. I did not get Adam Howden to voice Shulk. I think you can tell that much. Maybe even by the credits of the episode. Does anybody know that I put credits in these episodes? They're not in like the videos themselves, but like they're in the description. Like I say, who edited, who did the art for the episode, and who played the characters. And this one is no different. It's Dunban with Sunmellows, Auron was Rocks, Nano was Shulk, and Sea-Dog was Braska. And I will say, I don't think I'm gonna voice another character in Season 2 for a long time, because there's nobody who I would cast myself as. Because, like, usually when I cast myself, it's because I think I'm the best for the role. And there's, like, one time I was self-indulgent, I was Joker, because I always wanted to play Joker in a versus fight. And, like, that was, like, I gotta do it. That was my chance. And also was the Skye versus Sunmellows That like, hold on, I got fart. Oh no! I'm not cutting that out. Fucking those guys versus something else that the people were clamoring for. The people love Travis versus Jack. They were clamoring for more. So yeah, I gave it. But like, that's definitely something that I don't think I'm going to be doing until, God, maybe even the finale, because the finale season 2 is crazy, and it has two main characters, but there's a lot of supporting characters that need voices, and I want to provide one for one particular character, and I'm not gonna say who, but I really think the finale is gonna be the most interesting versus episode you're ever gonna be seeing in your lifetime. I genuinely believe it's the most, not even, I wouldn't call it creative, the most unique versus episode that I've ever had an idea for. And it's not like it's not an unpopular idea, but it's definitely something that I'm putting my whole, like, heart, mind, and body into producing. And like, to spoil it a little bit, you know, you're true fans if you're listening to the commentary this far in. This is like, it's going to have like its own cover album for the two franchises involved, the same way that Tenacious D versus Ninja Sex Party had a cover album. And actually, by the way, if you're listening to this on the day it comes out, yesterday, I just put all the Tenacious D and Ninja Sex Party covers on Bandcamp for free to download. So if you want to download them, you can go there and go ahead. Shouts to Z-Dog, Nebraska, my goat. Z-Dog, my goat. Z-Dog, literally my goat, dude. Fucking, he's a G. He's a G. I need to get him a voice another character, man. He was crazy. He was so good. He was good as Rao. He was good as Nebraska. He's amazing. He's a dream to direct. Like, I like give him like one note and he like, I got it. And like, that's crazy. That's good. I really need to get him in another episode, man. I really think that, well, next episode is going to have a new voice actor. For one, it's going to have, I guess I'll call him Ed, because that's what I know him as. He might want to be credited as something else. I can't remember what his Twitter handle is. But he goes by Ed in our circles. And the reason I wanted to cast him as Jaime was because he's a huge fan of Jaime, and I like to get people who are big fans of the characters to voice them. And he's also Latino. I think that's the right word. I wanted to get a Latino person to voice Jaime, no matter what. And Samuela's just voiced Dunban, and she's Mexican. So maybe it would have fit better for Jaime, but also she's not a comics fan, and Ed is, and he likes Jaime, so he gets to voice Jaime. And then Ben, Flip in our work server that we have for Versus the Universe, he like sent a couple auditions for a couple characters for season 2. Ben was one of them, and I kind of immediately knew, like, yeah, that's it. This is the voice I want. Like, he has a really good teenage quality to his voice that you can't really get in a lot of places, and that's like, oh my god, I'm loud. It's perfect. So yeah, that's it for this Dunban Auron commentary. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm really excited for Ben versus Jaime. I think it's going to be a really interesting episode. I think it's going to get a lot of views because it's Ben 10 and it has verses in the title. He's against a DC character. And then fucking people are going to get so mad at me when I don't include stats and be like, what the fuck, Ben would have won? I'm like, bitch, he's going to have an ending where he wins. And so is Jaime. Stay mad. So see you all. Bye.